How's it going? I hope you're doing as good as I'm doing today. And man, am I tired. You know, the lethargic, downtrodden feelings are at its peak. Not that I'm upset, didn't have a bad day or anything. Not mentally upset in any way. I'm just, it's just, you got so much stuff going on, so much traveling during the holidays. It's really hard to not go to the gym, especially when you don't take 1,000 milligrams of stimulants and have the most energy that you would like to have. I'm really proud of the effort I've been able to put in these past couple workouts. Like, if you've been listening, I've been essentially, like, the whole point of the workout wasn't to hit new weights. It was just to go to comfortable, heavy weights, or at least stuff that felt comfortable enough to attempt, and just, focusing on the strength part of my lifts and the weights before I leave town for a week, which is tomorrow. And oh boy, does it catch up to you. My core, my CNS is in shambles. We are officially burnt out. Which honestly is good timing since I'm leaving, and that was the whole point of what I was doing. But regardless of all that, physically, I can put it at a solid 8. It wasn't all there like I wanted it to be, but I think it was one of those days where the mental wasn't all there, so I got dragged down a little bit by that. I had a lot of energy on the clean and jerks, maybe not as all there as I would have liked it to be. But I'm proud of the progress and the effort I put in regardless. That's what matters. The passion, the pizzazz you put in those lifts. Mentally, I'll drop it at a 7.2. Nothing crazy, not bad at all. Very happy with that. But, if you can tell, it's hard for me to talk like this because I'm so damn tired. Everybody can relate. You're traveling so much and just trying to get your shit together with work, life, school, traveling, family, the holidays. Everything just is crazy, especially in December in the U.S. And good Lord, is my body done with some heavy weights. I can tell that the pressure that I've been putting on my body, it's the core is telling me no. But my mind is telling me yes. Anyway, I'm being a little fucking tangenty, a little bit goofy, a little silly. So just getting into it, let's stay right on topic with that kind of shit. We're going to talk about the aftermath of overdoing it. I want to preface that what I've been doing was purposefully overdoing it. Not just mindlessly, like, fuck it, heavyweight for funsies. Even though it may seem like that, but we're going to get into it, so strap in for a couple minutes. Essentially, what I think is so important to understand is the level of fatigue that your body has, and not trying to overwhelm it. Because the moment that your fatigue or like your control over your CNS, your central nervous system, the stuff that keeps your core tight and your muscles intact and feel really good and bouncy instead of deflated and lackluster. Once that is burnt out, like I am now, you're going to have extremely low levels of not only mental energy, but physical energy. Everything goes down the tubes. Not that it's going to fuck you up in your program or it'll mess up your body, but you need to be mindful of, like, okay, I'm going to allow myself to go heavy as I've been doing, but I also am fully aware that the moment I feel my body give and the way that I might be putting my body at risk if I go for this lift or I try to commit to it, I'm going to throw it. I'm going to put it away, just leave it there. And, it's at the very end of the video, but as you'll see, I didn't even go to 245 on Snatch today. It's what I would have liked to do, but I tried doing clean and jerk first because I've been doing Snatch first all week. And I could feel like when my shoulders are lagging on the pull, especially in Snatch, I know my body's done. So I hit 225, it's a really solid rep, but man, I need a break, But again, there's a difference, a very, very big and key difference between overdoing with intention and overdoing for the sake of overdoing. You know, I'm such a big preacher on the fact that every thing that you act on or program, whatever, it doesn't even have to be weightlifting, whatever you decide to do in your daily life needs to have a desire, a passion, a reason behind going for it. You know, you can't just throw some shit on the bar or show up to some random meeting and be like, oh, well, I'm that guy now. I'm there mentally, so of course I'm going to be able to lift the weights. Mental will help you a lot, but not to the point of like taking the physical out of it. You know, you got to be physically peaked and then have a good mental in order to lift at your absolute best, you know? So I guess what I mean by the difference between it is when you're lifting for just shits and giggles, no program, just throwing shit on there to throw shit on there, the reason you're not making gains is because your CNS is constantly fried out from going to whatever your body's capable of. This works for some people that like train in the sense of they say, I just listen to my body, you know? The moment my body says no, I just leave it alone and I come back the next day. This works to the extent of actually listening to it at the bare minimum level. Because people, this is why I think a written program is much more superior. Again, everybody's different. Whatever's going to make you grow is what you got to do. You got to trial and error that shit. But for the people that feel it out along the way and listen to their body and stop lifting when they feel like they've put in the amount of effort that will allow them to come back tomorrow with good energy, but also not too much to where it'll fuck up their body. The amount of human ego, which is very natural, everybody's got it, you know, stop denying it. Everybody's egotistical in their own way. I put 315 on the bar and I never had to. I could have just gone to 305 and been happy with a finished lift, but I wanted to attempt something that I felt like I could at least get a good effort into, you know, nothing that will harm my body, but something that, although I may fail, and there's a high likelihood I will fail, it will be a great experience for my body before going cold turkey for a week off these lifts. So if you're really like gonna commit to listening to your body, really listen to it. Like, don't just sit there and be like, oh, well, you know, that was a really, really good set and I'm like sweating like a motherfucker, and I'm tired and I got other stuff to do, but man, I'm just so close from putting on that next plate, so let's just fucking do it. Whenever you say fuck it, let's do it, there's a high probability that you're overdoing it and your CNS is going to get shit on. And then tomorrow when you go to the gym, you're going to show up and be like, that's crazy, I can only lift 60% of my max. I wonder what happened. You burnt out. You know, you need that rest. This is why I'm very keen on, I don't try to be too strict, but I feel like I'm very methodical about how I want to calculate where my fatigue is at throughout the week. You know, my hardest workout by technical means is when I do bench press with clean and jerk, because bench press makes my upper body super tight and kills my shoulders, and it makes clean and jerking really hard. So I put that at the very end of the week because it's nothing ever too heavy, and it's also a day where I can put in a bunch more energy because the next day I know I'm going to have a rest day, you know? So having that mental block of like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to rest tomorrow, maybe I should hold off now. This is why it's so good to have variability in your workouts and like never put in more than what you're supposed to do, because then it always leaves a little bit more left in the tank. And so right now, this was purposeful, you know, in the sense of I wanted to do, I essentially did 4 max out workouts in a row, but I never did anything that I wasn't confident in at least attempting. You know, that's the huge difference between putting on a weight because the ego takes over and you're like, oh, I'm so close, I might as well just throw it on there, versus this is something that I feel like I have a solid chance at, but I, at least in the sense of, this will not hurt my body at all. Anytime I put weight on the bar, I am always 100% confident that even if I fail, my body will remain intact. That is the whole point. And those rare days when I do pull something or fuck something up, it's more likely that I fucked up my technique, or I wasn't sleeping enough or not eating enough, something else that's outside of the gym, not my program. Because if the gym didn't if the gym wasn't affected by outside factors, then your statistics in your programs would be perfect every time. But everybody knows that's not true. If it was, I'd be clean and jerking 700 by the time I'm 25. But that will not be happening because I'm just being realistic about it. But anyway, while overdoing it can be fun occasionally, like how I said for this time, the reason I'm doing it is because I'm going to have to restart the program anyway. I don't think doing a ton of volume is necessary when you're strength building. If you can't stack that program on top of it, or stack that volume on top of each other in a full program. So because I was leaving for a week, I was like, okay, let's put in as much effort as I can, purposefully, without hurting my body, being confident in those lifts, not just lifting for fuck it, why not? And so when I take this week to go out of town, of course I'm going to do my best to do like body weight stuff and my mobility stretches, but at least all of the strength that I could have put into the program, the actual strength building, not just maintaining the form, the technique, the pause reps, the core, but the strength at its core alone, that is what I wanted to focus on before I left, so that when I come back and I jump back on the beginning of the program and I restart everything, when I do the first week of all volume, I'll at least be the most prepared I could have been, because if I just did a bunch of pause reps and volume stuff this week before going out of town, when I get back to doing the normal program, it's going to feel a whole hell of a lot worse because I didn't prepare for it, So if you're going to try to stay on that volume shit before going out of town, or you just don't feel like overdoing it the way I did purposefully, then at least when you get back to town, don't start the program right away. Take 2 or 3 days at the minimum, starting at the bar, the bare bones shit. Make sure your form's there, get your core strength back, work up to something around like 70%, just hit a couple good ones, have a solid workout that's meant to be easy so that you can be primed for the program. Do that for a couple of days, maybe work up to 80-85% on the last day at the most. Don't do a shit ton of volume or anything, just feel it out, know that you can confidently hit it. And I feel like once you can do 80-85%, you can probably jump back on that program. And the hardest part about it is the conditioning and the consistency behind that volume. So regardless of all that, just to bring it all together, I'm not trying to lecture anybody. Your boy is tired and I have a lot of moving around to do. So regardless of all of the advice I'm trying to give or the fair warnings to what may come from overdoing it in a negative way, because your body will shatter if you put too much pressure on it. It's just a matter of time. It's never a mental thing. It's just a matter of how many workouts you can go without getting crushed. Do what you need to do to maintain that happiness and that passion while also keeping your physical body's recovery at heart. That's the prime of it all. If you don't put your body first and you don't commit to keeping your life and your joints and your bones and your muscles happy and strong at as much as you possibly can, then it is completely inevitable that they will get messed up one day. I am living proof. I've torn my low back on both sides before. I've almost blown out my kneecaps. I fucked up my wrist literally this past year. I pulled my wrist another year. I pulled a muscle in my hand. There's so many ways you can mess up your body, but the way that you become truly experienced and truly intermediate, and not just beginner, is by going through those failures, regardless if they're injuries or not, and learning how to recover at the most efficient rate possible while maintaining the overall health of your body and your joints and all that shit, So when I tore my back, I didn't try to jump back in the gym and worry about the strength building. I was like, all right, ground zero, let's take it from the top, PCP pipe, work it back up. Took almost 7 months to get back to 100% or anything near that. But I put in my time doing the shit lightweight, letting my back recover and not overdoing it. And here we are now. I've never been better. And now that I've put in this experience and I've learned how to keep my body's safety first, I can at least overdo it sometimes, purposefully, with intent, without the constant doubt and worry in the back of my mind that I know a lot of you may have of, oh man, this one might take me out, but the weights just look so fun to do, I gotta just try it, you know? So take all that with a grain of salt. It's up to you on how you want to deal with all that stuff. And again, like the programming, everything that you experience in lifting or any hobby or passion you do in your life is trial and error. It's all through your own experience. Anybody who's successful in whatever you're trying to do, they did it in their own way, and they just committed to the trial and error and recovering as efficiently as they could in that field, you know? So just don't worry too much about the small stuff. Just like, you know, keep your personal happiness together, keep that passion thriving, keep your body intact, especially. And the consistency will build on itself. The trial and error through those failures and the recovery from them especially will be what make you as successful as you can be in 20, 30, 40 years, you know? So enjoy life, have fun. I have no food tonight. Very sad, but you know, we'll find something. So just do you, have fun. I'll probably make some videos while I'm out of town, while I'm skiing in Colorado. So hopefully you'll hear from me. But if not, I want to work on some community stuff. I might do I might make a group thing on Discord or something. I don't know. Maybe mess with the community tab, but you'll hear from me, you know? I'll be around. So just take care of yourself until you hear from me again, you know? All right, that's all I got. See ya.